The XF has been Jaguar's mainstream sedan for the past 8 years or so, and as such it's done a lot to establish the brand as more than just a niche manufacturer. Of course, these days, more modern Jags, such as the F-Type and the upcoming XE, have been hogging the limelight. And in fact, just last week, Jaguar showed a brand new XF. All of which begs the question, why are we bothering testing a car which is now effectively an old generation model? But let's not forget that this is still the meanest, fastest and most imposing of Jaguar's sedans. And while the newcomer might be more sophisticated and more eco-friendly, nobody really knows if there will be a successor to the XFR S. For now, the XF is about as close to mass market as Jaguar gets. And for the past 8 years, it's been fighting the good fight against the likes of BMW's 5 Series and the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. It's a tough segment to break into, even with a brand that has history and heritage to its credit. For some, the marque's previous association with Ford would have been off-putting, while others may have revelled in the fact that the XF is a much rarer sight on our roads than the 5 Series or the E-Class. Either way, it's easy on the eye. It might be almost a decade old, but the XF has aged quite gracefully. And in XFR S, guys, there's the extra menace of the body kit, the black grille, and those big 20-inch wheels. But while those elements do set the performance tone, the thing that really turns heads here is the sound of the engine. Indeed, this is a car that has an exhaust note that'll rattle windows and scare small children. It adds to a personality that is anything but subtle. Instead, it's unashamedly a muscle sedan, and it isn't shy to share its credentials. From the big bore exhausts and the wing on the boot lid to the massive front air intakes and the front splitter, this is a car that shouts performance out loud. And there's more to the body kit than visual muscle. It reduces lift by a claimed 68%. It's a big car made to look even bigger by all those racy bits. But racy doesn't mean the XFR S is short on comfort or convenience. The interior of the XF is where the car shows its age the most. It used to be cutting edge with its touchscreen display and these motorized vents, but these days it's starting to look just a little bit dated. And also the packaging may be not quite as space efficient as some of its more modern rivals. But let's not forget, this is still a luxurious four-seater, and it's very, very quick indeed. Your average XFR S buyer probably focuses more on performance than on creature comforts, but given its price and flagship status, there's little this super saloon doesn't offer. The touchscreen interface still works a treat, and the rotary gear selector remains ergonomically novel. Perhaps more importantly, there's something reassuringly solid about the way the car's been screwed together, and so it should be, given its 2-ton curb weight. No wonder the power plant under that long bonnet is a heavyweight too. The heart of the XFR S is the engine, and as that raughty exhaust note confirms, this is a 5-litre V8 with a supercharger bolted on top. The result is a power output of 405 kilowatts linked to 680 newton meters, the gearbox an 8-speed automatic. It might be a torque converter-based transmission, but the ZF-sourced unit has been tweaked to achieve a quicker shift action, especially when operated in manual mode and using the shift paddles behind the steering wheel. And in the best sports sedan tradition, drive is to the rear wheels. The suspension, which incorporates active adaptive damping, has been revised and is now 30% stiffer than the XFS. An electronic diff is standard in a further effort to tame this beast, which is particularly useful in wet conditions. At around 2 tons, the Jaguar XFR S is a big and heavy car, and yet because of all that power, it does feel a lot more agile than you'd expect. The 0 to 100 time, a very eager 4.6 seconds, top speed 300 kilometers an hour, and that's limited, which means that without the electronic nanny, it would be even quicker. The dynamic stability control system can be partly switched off to allow a more engaging drive without losing the system's safety net, while big disc brakes ensure that the stopping power matches the car's considerable dynamic potential. All of which translates into one heck of a car, even if it's in the twilight of its career. Loud and proud, the XFR S is probably one of the last true muscle machines. There aren't that many big bruiser sedans that are able to link massive power and slingshot performance to a luxurious cabin and great long-distance cruising capability. The XFR S is a member of that elite club, but it's also a finely engineered and well-executed sedan, which means it's going to be a very hard act to follow. Let's hope the next generation XF range produces a flagship as appealing and entertaining as this one. A 5-litre V8 equipped with a supercharger for extra urge translates into electrifying performance with sound effects to match. Add a menacing appearance, a luxurious cabin and space for 4, and the result is a versatile, entertaining performance machine, even if it's now starting to show its age.